Hi, everyone, and welcome back again to Make Our World Your Runway. You know, this is the show that interviews the most fascinating individuals from the world of pageantry, modeling, beauty, business, and even the entertainment industry. And today we're going to continue our Road to the Crown series. We have a fabulous young lady all the way from India. You are absolutely going to love her. But of course, before we bring our guest on, we definitely like to make some announcements. Now, if you want to see all the shows from Make Our World Your Runway and Success Stories, I highly recommend that you subscribe to the Global Trade Chamber's YouTube channel so that you can see both shows of Make Our World Your Runway and Success Stories. And I also highly recommend that you do tune into Success Stories because this is stories about women that have come from humble beginnings, that have worked themselves up to being amazing entrepreneurs, and also have gone on to do some fabulous things in the community. So once again, remember to subscribe to the Global Trade Chamber YouTube channel so that you can see both of these shows and enjoy all the stories that we bring to you. And also, Volume 2 of the 100 Most Successful Women in Business book is now available on Amazon. If you are a successful woman, I highly recommend that you pick up a copy of that book. You will love it. The stories in there are absolutely amazing. And I'm sure coming up in 2024, Volume 3 is going to be available. They're starting to put the book together now. We launched Volume 2 in London, England last year. It was a success. Women from all around the world came in to be part of that celebration. And if you are a successful woman, you have a story to tell, you just might want to get in Volume 3. So I highly recommend you go to the website at www.100swb.com for all the information on Make Our World Your Runway, the Global Trade Chamber, Success Stories, and of course, Volume 1, Volume 2, Volume 3 of the 100 Most Successful Women in Business. Now, speaking of 2024, we have a great announcement that we are going to make. We've done this every week, and we will continue right up until the event. March the 8th is International Women's Day. 100 Successful Women in Business and the Global Trade Chamber are going to have a fabulous event. Okay, it's going to be at the DoubleTree Hotel and Convention Center in Miami in honor of International Women's Day. Women from around the country and around the world are going to be there. They're going to be showcasing their businesses. This is one event you do not want to miss. And the big announcement, Make Our World Your Runway, is going to go live that day. We're going to be doing a press conference. You'll be able to get in on our red carpet. We're going to have Therese Garnier there, who's going to be Miss International World. She's going to be there promoting her book, No Longer Silent, which is also a bestseller on Amazon. And also, all the way from India, Sandhya Satyanathan, our Teen International World, will be there as well, and many other surprises. So if you want all the information, please go to the website, www.100swb for all the information. Again, this event's going to be a sellout. It's a free event. You must register. Also, if you want to be a speaker and have a table, right now I think they do have special pricing. Once again, www.100swb.com for all the information, and we are going to see you there. And now, ladies and gentlemen, as I like to say, lights, camera, action, it's Make Our World Your Runway. And this lovely young lady today, I absolutely adore her. She is amazing. Okay, and her first name is Prasashya, which means woman worthy of praises. She was Miss India 2023 and subtitle winner Miss Photogenic in Miss International World 2023. She hails from India. She's younger than 32 for her Zelda life, but older than that if you account for the roller coaster of experiences she has lived through, cherished, and weathered. While passionate about performance arts, where she has had a success as a content creator, theater artist, and has been part of movies, her true calling came while working with underprivileged children. Oh, I love that. That's my passion. Working in the arts and working with underprivileged children. Oh my God, we have a lot in common here. And as a psychologist and a teacher today, she devotes her time to ensure every child learns value of empathy, kindness, and unwavering determination. Her dream is to make education a basic right, long denied to certain individuals in the community in India, such as transgender individuals, accessible to them, and help them live a life of dignity and equality. That's amazing. I want to say that again. dignity and equality. That is something that a lot of people in the world today have forgotten. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, please welcome the beautiful Prasashya, Miss International World India, okay? And she was Miss International World India Supermodel in the 2023 Miss International World Pageant, and she took Photogenic. Ladies and gentlemen, again, please welcome Prasashya to Make Our World Your Runway. Hello, Prasashya.
Hey, Angela.
Oh my God, you have quite a bio. I didn't realize that.
Thank you. I guess I was trying to do everything that I can in this short time that I have.
You know, I told Nakshatra last night, I said, oh my God, I said, she's such a lovely lady. And I know it was kind of late when you came into the pageant,
Yeah.
but, you know, after reading this, oh my God. I mean, first of all, you have the same passion that I do, performance, the arts, okay? In the fact that you like to work with underprivileged children. I have a big passion for that, okay? Um,
Yeah.
you know, sometimes when I even see in my own backyard, you know, some of the little children with their parents, I open the door, I run out there, okay? Because I love playing with them. And you're right, there
Yeah.
are so many underprivileged children around the world. It's a
Yeah.
shame.
Yeah. It is actually the kids that I see on everyday basis, or even when they come to therapy, I see how they're struggling. And even after that, the India, the country that I live in, we have a lot of divisions here, and which makes it even more difficult for those children to avail the things that they would like to, and they should have the basic right, like education, right?
Yeah, I know. It's really something, you know, and what I like what you said at the end of the bio, life of dignity and equality. Okay.
Yeah.
There is in the world, you know, I just heard something on the news this morning. Okay. And it goes back to a former president that we had here in the United States,
Mhm.
President Johnson, when he said, the world is upside down right now. Okay. He said, and we've got to get it back. And he mentioned even the United States at that time when we had a lot of assassinations going on. It was totally upside down. Unfortunately, we're back at that same crossroads today. The world is totally upside down. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, you know, a lot of people want to come to the United States. What we're having our own problems right now. Things are a little upside down here. Not saying that we can't fix it,
Yeah.
but again, I just don't know what's happened. I think in one respect, and you might agree with me, with our technology, the world has moved so fast
Yeah.
at such a fast pace that I think we forgot about family time and things that matter.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely. I agree with you. People forget to, connect with each other, and they're constantly running around the things that they want to achieve. And at when these all these chaos is going on, and when I see kids, right, the underprivileged kids, especially kids coming from certain communities in India, they struggle to go to the school itself. Like they step into the school and the teacher said that, hey, you can't come here because you belong to certain community.
Right. Exactly. And you also talk about the LGBT community. And, you know, I'm glad that you brought that up because I have some very, very dear friends that are in the LGBT community. Okay. And two of them adopted this. You met her, little Lauren, at the pageant. Okay. She was
Uh-huh.
there with one of her dads. Okay.
Yes.
And she always says, I have four dads. Okay. She goes, two on one side and two on the other. But the two gentlemen that adopted her are the sweetest people you
Mhm.
ever wanted to meet. Okay. I mean, unbelievable. Her one father happens to be a doctor. Okay.
Mhm.
And I mean, he's amazing. He's like ranked one of the top doctors. Okay. 10 top doctors in the United States. Okay. For skin diseases and things like that.
Yeah.
Okay. And he's a plastic surgeon. So he's ranked one of the top 10 doctors. In fact, he worked on my ear, which he did an amazing job. Okay.
Mhm.
Her other father, Michael's a curator, okay, in a
Yeah.
museum. And she's traveled the world. I mean, this is a little girl that speaks 5 different languages at her
Wow.
age and comes from a family that's LBGT.
Yeah.
So it tells me that there's nothing wrong with that. The society has to realize that this is
Yes.
part of life. Okay?
Yeah.
This is part of what we are. All right. And I think the sooner we respect that,
Yes.
better things are going to become.
Absolutely. Even I have a couple of friends who belong to that LGBTQ community. They have like smallest problems like, bathrooms, the washrooms, right? We have males and females. But what about the other people who don't
Right.
who identify themselves as either male or females? Where do they go? Right? They feel so out of place even in regular days. So it's just not about the realization, but I feel it's also about inclusive, being inclusive and creating a space where all people, all identity is welcomed and
Exactly. And I agree with you. And you reminded me of something in the United States back in the 60s, where segregation was really out of
Mhm.
control. You'd go
Yeah.
down, you'd go to certain areas and you'd see black and white. And I'm like, what? White people how to use that bathroom, black people how to use that bathroom. Now, when I went to Hawaii several years ago,
Mhm.
this is funny, okay? They had Japanese, nothing against
Mhm.
Japanese. Of course, we fought
Mhm.
them in World War II, nothing against them because that's the way things are. All
Mhm.
others here, and I'm like, wait a minute, okay? Hawaii is the United States. But that
Yeah.
was so funny that even back then, and we were in modern times, I looked at my husband, I said, am I reading that right? I said, all others over here, the Japanese are over there. And we took a
Mhm.
cruise around Hilton Head Island.
Yeah.
They got the steak and the lobster. We got the chicken. I said, wait a minute. What's wrong with this picture? And believe me, I said, I even said to somebody, I said, look, World War II has been over eons. I have nothing against the Japanese people. Then I went to find out that a lot of the Japanese businessmen actually
Yeah.
they bought up Hawaii, basically. Okay. And a lot of them did become American citizens. So that was the reason why that was done. Because I'm nosy. I said, I got to find out what's going on. So I marched into City Hall in Honolulu. I said, okay, explain this to me. And then I realized, and I said, well, look, I said, I could understand. I said, but maybe you should take those signs down. Now, today, they don't have that. So I
Mhm.
always felt like I was an advocate for turning something around. Okay.
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
until I inquired, I didn't know why that was being done. And then I realized that because of the war and we made peace with them, they bought up a
Mhm.
lot of property in Hawaii. And the fact that Hawaii is pretty much in the Pacific, when you're out
Yeah.
there to
Yeah.
get to Japan and to get to the Asian countries, you're not that
Yeah.
far. Okay.
Yeah.
You're literally right there. So,
Yeah.
but I have to say, I'm very proud of the Indian people because during the summer, President Biden had the Prime Minister of India there. And we are definitely trying to make great relationships with
Yeah.
India.
Yeah.
One of the things that I always admire, Indira Gandhi, she was one of the first women prime ministers,
Yeah.
and she brought the country of India, I believe, to where it is today. That
Yeah.
woman was unbelievable. I was very young at the time when President Johnson hosted her at the White House for a state
Mhm.
dinner. It
Yeah.
was it was beautiful. I was looking at the pictures last night again. I said, "What a beautiful state dinner." Okay, so you ladies over there in India, you guys surprised me. I mean, from you, Akshata, all the girls. I'm like, whoa,
Well, we try our best, considering that we are the females in India, and as soon as we say that we want to do something, the voices are being suppressed or oppressed, like left, right, center. So we have to like really go for it and shout it out that what, I am going to do this and this is my life. So
exactly.
when we shout it out, that's when like, oh, okay, maybe you can do it, but you can't do it. It's not for you. And then the killing the hopes, killing the dreams statements come up. And then you got to fight that as well, and then move forward, and then show that you can do it. And then like, oh, I knew you could do it.
There you go. Exactly. You just said a mouthful. You know, when I was in England last year, and there was women from around the world that were at the 100 successful women in business gala and convention, and I had a lady that was, from I believe it was I don't know if it was Iran or Iraq, one of those countries. Okay, where they wear the headpieces, and
Yeah.
lovely, lovely lady. And I sat there and I spoke to her husband, and there was another woman there from Africa. And I said, okay. I said, look, there's about 6 of us sitting here. We all have different customs. Okay. You dress one way, I dress another way. The lady from Africa, I said, but if you think about it, sometimes the media depicts us as enemies. We're not enemies. We just have different cultures. But certain groups look at people, oh, that person's an enemy. Whoa, wait a minute. I said, there's an old saying, just because we disagree does not mean you're my enemy. Everybody disagree on different things. But when I got done with that conversation, they were hugging and kissing me because they said, if more people thought, Angela, the way you did, they said, you're sitting here with us and you're respecting our culture. I said, why would I not? I said, because we're all from different cultures, okay?
Yes.
I mean, all right, I was born in the United States. I'm a U.S. citizen, but if you go in my background, my family tree goes back to the Roman Empire. Okay.
Wow.
So if you read about the Romans, they were way ahead of their times. And my husband always said, I wonder why you're stubborn. He said, I'm an Italian. He said, you come from the Roman Empire. He says, no one. I said, yeah, it probably is. I said, okay. But we all have a background that we come from. Okay. And I was telling 𝐏𝐚𝐠𝐞𝐬, and everybody laughs. When you come from Christmas time and you come from an Italian family, okay, Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, if you even got to empty a garbage can, you got to explain why you're going outside. You're supposed to just stay in and stay with the family. But that's the culture, okay? Christmas in an Italian or even a Spanish family, oh my God, if you move from the house, you're in trouble. You better be sick or it better be something good. But see, that's a culture, okay? But now somebody else, all right? They celebrate it differently. That is the thing. And that's what I love about yourself and about 𝐏𝐚𝐠𝐞𝐬, because your culture is beautiful. But at the same time, you and 𝐏𝐚𝐠𝐞𝐬 and all the girls that have been in my pageant from India respect the culture I'm from. It's unbelievable.
True. Yeah. It's the moment I entered the pageant and I met all those queens, right? And they all came from different spaces, right? And I got to share my stories and I learned from them as well. And if I say about Mia, if I say, or the other queens, they had so much to give. And it was all about, just listening and taking it all in, and then, having fun, that we all come from different backgrounds. But at the same time, we all had that humanity in ourselves where we're like, you know what, let's do this together and, shine bright. It was so amazing to see.
It is. You ladies were absolutely amazing. I was so proud. We did a much bigger show this year. It was, it went live stream, which was unbelievable. TLC, they're supposed to, once they show the event in February and March, of course, then we can bring Jasmine into the picture. She's waiting to get involved with us. But, you've got a passion, you said, about performance arts. What have you done in the arts? Because I was in that industry for a long time.
Well, I'm going to start with my childhood. So I started performing arts when I was, I think, 5 years old. And I started learning Bharatanatyam. That's a classical dance form that we have in India. So I started with that, and then I performed in a lot of places all over India. I even won an all over Gujarat competition in dance. And from there, I moved on to other dance forms to theatre. And theatre was the time when I got a chance to model as well and do theatre on stage. And that was also the first time when I faced camera. And I did a movie here, a regional movie here. And it went so well. And I just kept on learning. And that's when I came across a theater performance, which was a good amalgamation of therapy as well as theater. And it's called playback theater. And I have not looked back since then.
I love it. I love it.
We
Yeah.
we have done it at TED Talks also, and it's been such a pleasure to face the camera or to be in front of that audience and do your roles right, and then getting to hear those claps. Oh, it's just like I have achieved what I wanted to.
That's great. And I'm glad you said that because I was pushed out on stage when I was about 2 years old. And yeah, and I had such a high range that they always used to tell my mother, they said, this kid's going to be an opera singer. And she said, no. And everybody said yes. And that's what I turned out to be. And when I was in high school, I did not know that the Reader's Digest people were sitting out in the audience and they heard me sing. Didn't know it. Okay. But it's a good thing I probably didn't know it. Well, anyway, when they gave out the scholarships, okay, for the Juilliard Academy of Music, I won it. And I also, thank you, I was supposed to go on a European tour, but unfortunately my dad had become very, very ill and I couldn't go. Well, part of the deal was the scholarship with the tour, but because my father had been what they call seriously ill, thank God he was all right at the time, he pulled through. They decided to let me go on the scholarship. And I went to the Juilliard Academy of Music and I'm 10 years opera trained. All right. I sang in Phantom of the Opera. I performed in Las Vegas, Atlantic City. But that training was, I think that's probably where I got a lot of my discipline from because that training was absolutely grueling, tough. I mean, they would scream at you and you could give your best performance and they would tell you, no, it wasn't up to par. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
When you graduate, it's a whole different thing. Then they tell you, you know what, you were amazing. Okay. But I really learned that my biggest thing was when I got to sing in Phantom of the Opera. And the funniest thing was I went for an audition for Disney. And I fit the description of the audition. And the producer said, you've got one of the most beautiful voices I've heard. He said, but you're not what we're looking for. So, when you go on audition, you've got to take that with kind of a grain of salt because that's exactly what's going to happen. All right. So I get out of there and I'm a little disappointed, but a friend of mine said, look, he said, they're auditioning, he said, for understudies. He said, for Phantom of the Opera. He says, why don't you go? Oh, no. I said, I'm going home. He said, no, I got a good feeling about this. He said, go. Right. So I got nothing to lose. Well, worst they can do is say no. Went over there. I auditioned. I did about 16 bars of All I Ask of You. And they said, leave your picture and resume. We'll get in touch. But the time I got home, I didn't even make it to the house. They called me up. They said, you're the next understudy. I said, what? Me? I said, so I was like, okay. One failed. The other one worked. All right.
Absolutely.
And what happened was Sarah Brighton, who starred in Phantom of the Opera, she had done it in England. She was doing it in the States. She had like 6 years that she had been doing that. And she was getting tired because matinees, 2 shows a day. And she did not want to do the tour. So the Phantom of the Opera East Coast tour was coming up. And I'll never forget the conductors to me. Do you want to take the tour? I said, are you kidding? I said, that's a no-brainer. Of course I'll take the tour. And I took the tour of Phantom of the Opera. And it was probably, oh my God, I traveled from the East Coast to the West Coast of the States, up and down the East Coast of the United States. It was great. Okay. I think I used to work Thursday, Friday, Saturday, sometimes a Sunday. People used to say to me, I'd love to have that job 3 days a week. I said, yeah, it was easy. You go, you perform, you get the check, you go home. But it was absolutely amazing. And then when the tour was over, what I did, and when you talk about underprivileged children, I went into a lot of children's homes and a lot of nursing homes, and we used to put shows on every Sunday. And we used to perform. You'd be surprised the talent that you'd find there. Okay. These little kids would get up and like, oh my God, where'd this talent come from? And we started a group called with this other gentleman, Talent Unlimited. And every Sunday we used to go out and perform. And we did take a lot of underprivileged children. Some of them became stars. Okay. And then Atlantic City, we used to have which was called Beach Fest every year, where all the hotels would put money in to do shows out on the boardwalk. And it was great. All the beauty queens, they had floats for them and everything.
Yeah.
And we got a lot of underprivileged children that we got out there to perform. So it says something about the arts. That's why when I read
I
that,
also remember, like, when you mentioned about, practicing, like, we used to also go on for like 6 hours at a stretch, dancing. And
wow,
after 6 hours, and the teacher would be like, it's still not up to the mark. And we would be like, oh my God, when would it be, completely perfect? Yeah, but it's quite taxing, but at the same time, it's quite satisfying also at the end.
it is. And it's so funny because I didn't realize Sandhya, who won the teen division, she's a classical dancer. When I read her bio, I
And
said,
that's it.
whoa, everybody coming from this singer, dancer, performer. I said, oh my God. I said, oh,
Yeah.
this is amazing. And it's so funny because when Akshata gave up her title, she actually that year hosted the show. And when she got out and hosted the show, I didn't realize that she was talented because she could get on that mic. And, I've done it for years. And I'm like, wait a minute, she's kind of rivaling me out there. I said, this was amazing. I said, she got out on that, modeling, I know she did, and of course she trains and everything. But she got out on that mic and I said, that's a mini me. It's unbelievable. So I admire you ladies. You're also very, very talented. Keep up the great work because it's something that I love. And Sandy is going to be coming out for International Women's Day, and wish you were coming.
Yeah.
Because I would love to have you here. Oh my God. But we are going to go live that day. Okay. So we'll definitely get you back there. We're going to do a whole red carpet, a press conference. We will definitely get you back. And I'm hoping I will talk to Akshata because I'm hoping that we can somewhere along the line definitely get you back here and be a judge or do something because I have to admit, I didn't realize how talented you were.
That's okay. But I think it's somewhere in India, we do have that culture where we are pushed to learn one of the performing arts. So it's kind of encouraged as well. Uh, and I think my family are just like my father is one of the instrument players. So he plays tabla, uh, performing arts. So they both were like, you should go for it. And they just like pushed me, and I'm like, yeah, let's do this.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's the art is great because you know what? You can kind of immerse in a song or a dance. I know when I sing a song sometimes, if it's got a lot of true meaning, I will immerse myself, and all of a sudden, I've had people say this to me. They said, Angela, it seems like your true self was coming out. And I said, yes, because those words kind of meant something somewhere in my background. And I feel that I can communicate with people when I'm doing that better than sometimes when I'm in a conversation, because now I'm telling a story. And I might be telling a story of what happened in my past. Okay. So, and that's the thing when you're up there, you have to make the audience almost feel what you're feeling. Okay.
Absolutely.
If you're singing a song, you're actually telling a story, but you're telling it through music. So if you can do it correctly, okay, you'd be surprised how you can communicate with people. Okay.
Yeah.
And Therese, exactly. And Therese being a journalist, all right. I've learned a lot from her. I studied journalism myself, but not like Therese. Okay. She'll ask some tough questions. I mean, she's gotten me on interviews and she's like very precise. I was, wait a minute, this is the same girl that I spoke to 5 minutes ago. Because now, okay, the journalism side is coming out on her. Okay. But she knows how to pull it out of a person. But she's got a talent without insulting someone. She'll pull out the truth. without insulting someone. That's a talent.
True, absolutely. When I met Terese, I remember her being a little quiet and not speaking much at that point of time. But then eventually we got into talking, right? And the way she came up, and especially during the we had this dress, the cultural round, right?
Oh, yes,
In
the
that
costume
cultural,
part. Yeah.
oh my God, that feather that she had, wow, it had me goosebumps at that point of time. She looked so lovely with that attire and that just one feather. Wow. It was completely beautiful to have.
Yeah, it was because she did that feather and that was part of her culture. But the fact
Yeah.
that she's a veteran, was a veteran in the United States Air
Yeah.
Force, I mean, that was just absolutely amazing. And, when we went live stream, believe it or not, our pageant actually got into the White House. And at Christmas, yeah, and at Christmas time, when I got the Christmas card from the White House, there was a note in there. They thanked me for at the end of the show when I said, "And God bless our troops." Okay, and I think I said something about "and peace be with the world." I remember saying something like that, and they thanked me for that because, again, the troops in any country protect us. Okay,
Yeah.
and with everything that is going on around in the world today, that word peace has kind of been thrown out there or forgotten. Okay.
Yeah.
And, at Christmas time, they always say, "And peace be with you." And I say it every day, "Peace be with us," because that's the only way that the world is going to survive. I mean, look, we came out of a worldwide terrible pandemic. All right. And I think that changed me because you know what? I used to go to bed every day and I used to say to myself, "Am I going to get up tomorrow? Am I going to make it?" You didn't know. All right. Nobody knew. And before the vaccines came out and before there was any medicine on this virus, I mean, I'd go to the supermarket. You'd laugh. I should put that picture up. I used to dress myself up like the mummy. I was covered from here. Well, I was so afraid of that. Okay. But for good reason. I mean, my poor mom couldn't go out for over a year because she was 91 years old. All right. I have a heart condition. My husband had a heart condition. And we were like, so it kind of changed me in a way. I think probably in a way for the better because I see things differently. Because like I said, I know I have a lot of friends that got it. Some were okay. Some didn't make it. And I always thought, I said, "Am I going to get up tomorrow and get this? And am I going to make it? Am I not going to make it?" So I'm just hope in modern times we never go through a pandemic like that again because that was
It was
forget it.
terrifying. It was really initially it was really terrifying, but it happened with me as well. Like as I started living in that pandemic, that's when I got used to with myself.
Right.
I started retrospecting more and thinking about what I want to do now. Like this could be the end of it, and what if I survive this? Then what? Right? So
You just took the words right out of my mouth. I used to say, "Is this the end of the world? And if I survive it, how am I going to go forward?" And I even thought about, look, everybody wants to be a star. Everybody wants to make a lot of money. During those times, I said to myself, Angela, is that really important to you? Or is it important for your life to live and to empower women or to do things that are going to make people's lives better? Okay. And I said it at the pageant. When I do things, I don't look at myself. I look at others. I say, okay, I know that I could benefit from this, but how am the people around me going to benefit? What's going to make a difference in their life? And I always said, if I stop thinking that way, then it's time for me to retire. Okay. Because I truly believe it's not what you do, it's how you do it. And it's the people around you that make you who you are. You never do anything alone. I say that time and time again. Nothing that you do is alone. You've got a team of people, or there's always something or someone in your life that has made you open that door, that has made you take that next step. Okay. And that's one thing I firmly believe at. Even with this pageant, I always say, I didn't do this alone. Okay. For instance, my husband works on the website. I don't take credit for that. People say, oh, it looks beautiful. I said, credit him. He's the one I said that did it, not me. Okay.
Absolutely, yes.
I mean,
Like
when
even
you,
all the queens performing at this international world, right? It was just not the queens performing, but it's also the support that we got from friends and family.
right.
Plus, you, Sushmita, Vilina, my God, so much of help that the posture, the walk, every time pointing it out, how you should do it, how you shouldn't do it. Like all of these things matter because that's
Yeah,
what get us on that stage and make us look this beautiful.
exactly. And, I've had a lot of girls that have gone on to great things. But I always tell them, I said, look, remember where you got your start. Remember where you came from. If you
Mhm.
lose track of that, or you go on to
Yeah.
something or someone that you got
Mhm.
stars in your eyes and you think because they have a lot of money, they're going to put you in the next level, you've lost it at that point. I said, you have to really think about where you're going and what you're doing.
Yeah.
And are you doing it just for yourself or are you doing it for others? You have to think that way. And if more of the world would think that way, it would be fantastic. It would be great.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I
my
know.
dear, what words of wisdom would you give to any girl that wants to be in a pageant? What would you tell them?
Wow. What words? Well, don't focus on losing weight. Just focus on gaining that confidence more and more so that you can rock no matter what shape and size you are. You're gonna rock it.
That's right. You just said it. You can rock it. Okay. I mean, I say the same thing, even at an older age. And a lot of older women say, well, I can't compete in a pageant. I said, yes, you can. I said,
Yeah.
yes, you can. I said,
Yeah.
forget about that stereotype. I said, that people
Hmm.
have said.
Yeah.
I said, don't even think
Exactly.
about that. I said,
Yes.
you got to get on that stage and you got to rock it. Okay. And I said, all right, if you're a professional dancer, yeah, that's something different. Okay.
Hmm.
But singers, that's what I loved about singing. Okay. Uh, this is what they relied on, what was coming out of the throat. I could have been 500 pounds as long as I could sing. That's all they relied on. But,
Yeah.
you're right. You can, you have to, in a beauty pageant, you have to have some sort of beauty, but you'd be
Yeah.
surprised. Beauty is not only skin deep, it's what you have here.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's what you have
Yeah.
in the heart. It's what you have inside of
Yeah.
you that then
Yeah.
creates that outer beauty. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, I've seen that in a lot of people. Okay.
Yeah.
It just depends on where your mindset is. Okay.
Yeah. And it's the same what Akshata ma'am kept on telling us that just don't focus on your figure or how you're looking. It's also important what's there inside you, what you can bring out and show the world, right? So
Exactly.
yeah,
Exactly.
it's
It's funny you should say that because when I was in England last year and I
mhm,
was doing the fashion shows for
mhm,
100 Successful Women, Akshata said to me, I have a plus size model that I'm going to send you. She said, she's fantastic. I said, okay, not a problem. Oh my God, that girl got on the runway. She rocked the runway. And the designer had a perfect dress that fit her. The dress, when she put this dress on, she looked like she had lost 10 pounds. Unbelievable. She got on that runway. Okay. And
mhm,
Akshata said, look, she said, you're going to love her. I did. I said, oh my God. I said, Akshata, where'd you get this girl from? I said, she's
yeah,
absolutely beautiful. She rocked the runway. She said, well, I'll always send you somebody that's really good. I said, that I know. I said, but for a plus size model, she almost didn't look like a plus size model. You know,
mhm,
there was just something about her. You almost wanted to wrap your arms around her. She was just lovely. Okay. And I said,
yeah,
you know what? I said, that was right then and there. I realized it doesn't matter. If someone has got it in them, they could get on that
yeah,
runway and
yeah,
really rock it. I've looked in this universe this year. The first time they
mhm,
allowed a plus size model to get on the runway, and that girl made the top 15. Okay. So there you go. Okay. It's all about,
yeah,
hey, there's in the Philippines right now, there's a girl.
mhm, mhm,
gorgeous. And the director out there said to me, she said, "Do you like her?" I said, "Oh, she's beautiful." I said, "She's highly intelligent." She said, "You know, she's a transgender." I said, "What?" Transgender. She said, "Is that something?" I said, "Wow." I said, I
Yeah.
got on that runway. I would have never known it. If this director didn't tell me that, I
Mhm.
would have never known. I mean, intelligent, dressed, beautiful. Just wow. And won a couple of titles out there. So see, again, you're right. The beauty's only skin deep. We just don't know
Mhm.
until we get to know that person. Okay. So I'm so glad that you and I are on the same wavelength. Okay.
Yes.
But anyway, my dear, we're going to make
Yes.
sure that we're actually going to combine your show with Sasha's, but we're going to make sure you have your own show. So if
Yes.
it will, I'll tell you exactly when it's going to be scheduled go live.
Mhm.
But I want to thank you for, I know it's in the evening over there with us. Yeah, it's still in the afternoon. So for taking time out of your busy schedule to be on Make Our World Your Runway. Okay. And
Angela, it has always been pleasure. It was before, it is now, it will always be a pleasure on this and having this conversation with you, heart to heart.
And one thing I want to tell you is, okay, maybe you didn't win the main title of supermodel, but girl, you are a winner. In my book, you are a winner. You are Miss International World Supermodel India. You are a winner. Whatever you do out there, send me pictures. I will promote it because, as I tell the girls, it's not the end. Title is for life.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Send me pictures. I will promote it. And again, anytime you want to come into the States, we'll make sure we take you around. And as I said, March
Yes.
8th, National Women's Day, I will let Akshata know we're going to go live and
Yes.
definitely want to get you there live again. It'll be a press conference. And anytime you want to come back, I'll Make Our World Your Runway. You have an open invitation.
Definitely. I will definitely tell you. And thank you. Thank you so much for having me on the show. Thank you.
Anytime, sweetheart, anytime. So thank you again. Have a wonderful evening. And I'm going to see you on March 8th for International Women's Day.
Yes.
All right, dear. Bye-bye. Thank you so much. Have a good one. Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. The beautiful Prasashya. Oh my God. I had no idea she was this talented. I absolutely adore her. Okay. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned because we're going to have another fabulous show this week. And coming up, our next guest is Lamont Easter. Okay. And he has been the last several years the host of the Miss International World pageant. And he is a veteran actor. He's been in Madam Secretary. He's done commercials for the Oscars. And he's also been in shows with Kevin Spacey. So get ready for that. That's going to be coming up. We're going to be interviewing him this week. And as always, we want to thank you for tuning in to Make Our World Your Runway. God bless you. Have a great evening, and we'll see you soon.